G'day crew, Todd from ToXiC Garage Customs. Good to be back. It's been a few weeks since I've put a video out, or a couple of weeks I think, with the move to the new property and everything that's going on, selling my house. It's been pretty busy, but I'm happy to say I've sold my house, so that's great. I've got the money to buy the property that I've already started moving into, so that's even better. And it's all systems go, so my garage is getting less and less in it each time, so while it looks like it's much the same, cupboards are getting empty. Things are going. Still a lot of stuff here, but I've got rid of a lot of stuff. So yeah, that's what's happening. So videos are going to be a bit intermittent, going to be here and there, so I apologise for that. But if you can follow me along and get going, then you'll see what happens when I get to the new place, which is going to be pretty exciting. Going to be a lot going on. But anyway, I've got a video here. It's what I do to treat the patina, the paintwork, or lack there of it, on ToXiC. And I use a product called Patina, and you'll see that in the video. So I think it's come up absolutely fantastically. I hope you think the same. So have a look, see what you reckon. Enjoy. So it's been a little while, but I thought I'd give ToXiC a bit of a spruce up. Going to an agricultural show this weekend up at Morisset, which is near where I live, where I'm going to be moving to, I mean. So I figured, why not get in there? I believe they've got a bit of a ute show going on there, and rodeo, animals, dogs, rides, all that sort of stuff. So we're going up there to have a bit of a look around. And I figured might as well give ToXiC a bit of a spruce up. So that's what I'm doing. I've given her a wash, and I'm just about to, I tell a lot, I've actually already started putting some Patina on. So people ask me what I put on ToXiC to sort of preserve that patina. So I'll show you what it is, and I'll show you how I do it. It's pretty simple. Nothing complicated, as Fitzy would say. So let's have a look. So there she is. There's ToXiC, giving her a wash. I've actually already started putting the Patina on the door and the back corner of the cab here. So you can see a bit of a shine there. And it's bringing out the lettering quite nicely. So I haven't done here, not recently, it was a few months ago I've done it. I did it, I should say. So it's looking pretty good anyway, but I'll give it a go over. So you can see there, I don't mind the washed out faded look, that is the idea. But you can see the difference in the writing there. I've never shown you this before. This truck originally came from a place called Wombat, which is in near, I always get this mixed up, down near, I can't remember where it is. Wombat, it's down south, so south in New South Wales. So if you know, put it in the comments, because I'm feeling like a dill for not remembering. Yeah, so that's where it came from. So when I got Shako to do the sign writing, Shako's pinstriping, if you haven't seen that, have a look at the video on his car and his bike collection. I got him to just brush touch over that. And he also put his little signature right there, Shako. So yeah, if you have a look at that door, so it's a bit washed out, particularly the black and so on. And the pinstripe around the letters. Now if we have a look at the other side where I've already done the Patina, and so it doesn't look quite as washed out. Blackens it up, gives that shadow effect a bit more, and brings out that black around there, amongst other things. So I'm actually colourblind, which people ask me how do I build cars and so on. Well, you might notice I don't do a lot with colour. But when I did match this tray, I did as best I possibly could to do that, because that tray was originally not that colour. So that's fake patina, faux patina as they call it, the tray. And I built the tailgate, built the whole truck. I fabricated the tailgate, just out of box section and steel plate, and this is all cut out with a plasma cutter, just like how I did my ToXiC sign that I have a video on Art and Craft Tuesday. Yeah, so we're going to go over and give this all a bit of a spruce up. So I'll put you on some form of time lapse and you can watch me do that. So I've just been doing a couple of little bits there, and you can see a bit more shine on the door there. I finished that part off, and I've just been doing a bit of the roof up there. Now I'll just show you this just to bring you in. You can see distinctly where I've done and where I haven't done. It's not a straight line, but you can see one side is shiny. Still got all the patina and that there, but what it does, this stops the rust. So it doesn't just detract from the look. I think it actually looks good. Not everyone likes shiny patina, but the good thing about this stuff is if you don't want it to be shiny, leave it for a couple of months out in the weather and the shine goes away, and the more you leave it there, the more it'll go back to its original state. But I do this because I actually quite like the look of it, but the main reason I do it is because I want to preserve it. You can see the little splotches, little shiny bits there, that's actually the rust starting. Again, it's only surface rust, but if you let it go, it'll go and it'll go. So this just puts it encapsulates the rust, to use that word. It puts a coating over the top of it, stops oxygen from being able to get to it, and water from being able to get to it, and it stops it rusting. So that's a good thing. Now, penetrol. Different people use different things. I know you can get Poppy's patina and another one, I can't think what it's called. I've never used anything like that. On this truck I use penetrol, and what this is, it is actually designed to make paint stick to anything. It's not designed for this purpose. You mix it with normal paint and you can paint things. So I've spilt some of this on my glass, and it was actually really hard to get off. I had to scrape it off. It didn't just easily peel off, it stuck. So that's what this stuff does. It really, really gets in. Now this tin is quite old, it's gluggy, so it's a bit hard to get out of the tin. It's almost like a gel now, and I've mixed it with Terps a few months ago. Because it was solid. Really, I should get a new can of it, and it would go on a lot easier. But being a tightwad, and the fact that there's half the tin left, I'll just work with this because it still does the job. It's just not quite as easy and doesn't quite flow into the gaps as well. But it does the job just fine. I just get this from, I'm in Australia, I get it from Bunnings, but pretty much any hardware store or anywhere that sells paint, I think you'll be able to find this. I don't think it's an Australian product. So if you're in another country, you can have a look for it. I can't actually even read the label. Will it have been imported to Australia from someone? I can't see it at the moment. I also use Anchor Wax, A-N-K-O-R, wax, on Audrey, my wife's Falcon station wagon, and it works well as well. I prefer this. The Anchor Wax looks good. It's a bit of a flatter, not quite as shiny look. It is good. It works really well. I just prefer this personally, but I've got nothing against Anchor Wax. So all I do is I wear rubber gloves because otherwise I get the stuff all over my hands and it sort of sticks there. And all I do, I put it on the cloth, and when it's a good liquid, you can soak the cloth well and you can do a big area, but because this has turned to jelly, I can only do a small area at a time because I can only get so much on the cloth. But I'll just show you. I'll set the camera up and let's have a look. Now I'm going to tell you, I don't take my cars too seriously. I do my cars because I want to enjoy them. I like to have fun with them. What I find with a lot of people when they're doing something like this, I personally think they really overthink the process. My process was this from the first time I started doing this. I washed the car. In fact, on this I used some CLR, calcium line rust remover, in the first place, just to get rid of the initial rust, and then I went over it with this. On subsequent cars, on Audrey, I didn't do that. Basically, it was clean, I went through and I rubbed the Anchor Wax on. I don't know if it makes any difference or not. They both look good. I'll show you Audrey in a little while. She's a bit dirty at the moment, but I'll show you the finish. All I do, nothing complicated. I get the anchor wax, the penetrol. I get the cloth. I get some of the goo. And then I rub it on. That is it. That is the whole thing. And you can see the little shiny spots where the surface rust is starting to come through. Just get coated. That gives that finish. Again, I can't get much out of each application because of it being a gel, but it still does the job. I am not going to do anything off camera after this. I'm not going to go over and surface buff it or do anything. The only thing that I may do is, as it dries out a little bit, I might just put a second coat on. Why? Just so give me a longer time frame before doing it next time. That is it. Get it onto the cloth. That's the only thing. I think I'll have to invest in a new can of this stuff or some more terps. Personally, I reckon it looks pretty good. I try and get it right into all the gaps. I did make the mistake of spilling some down one of these gaps when it was quite liquid, and it ran down on the paint in my inner guards, and so now I've got a run mark of it there, but you know, as Rat Rod Bob says, it is a rat rod. I don't think this is a rat rod, but you know, I think you know where I'm going. This is probably about the slowest I've ever put this stuff on. Normally I'd rush it. Normally I'd bang it on in about 20 minutes over the whole car. This time I'm sort of stretching it out. Probably taking me about an hour. Just trying to, I guess, take my time, not rush it. Normally I'm in a hurry to do everything. This particular time, just trying to do it, trying to enjoy the process. Which I do enjoy the process. I enjoy pretty much everything about all these processes, but sometimes time is the problem. But wait until I get to the new property. Once I get my new shed set up, I'm getting pretty excited about that. If you're new, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I've bought some land and I'm going to be building a shed. But in the meantime, I've already got a shed there, so I can start doing some work. I can start making some videos. You can start seeing what I'm up to. And I'm going to take my time, but I'm also going to be doing some things that I haven't done for a while, like give my green Falcon a bit of love. Put the steering box in this, the new super high performance steering box that my good friend Stuart Drummond from Port Steering and Suspension what's he called? What's he say? Steering Perfection is his logo, something like that. I'm going to plug him big time because he did me a really good deal on a really good modification. But we'll worry about that at the time. I'll be doing that. I'll be building my 38 hot rod. Excuse me. That you've seen me unload, move around. I'll be working on that. I'll be doing some work on Sam's GMC. Also got to buy myself another dirt bike. Haven't had one for a while. Guess what? I'm buying myself one. Just got to put the lights back on. They just turned off. So I'll just show you how we're looking, and then I'll put you back on time lapse. So I think you can see the difference there. See what I've done, what I haven't. The line down the middle. It's not just a play of the light. It does darken it up a bit, dries a little bit lighter. But I reckon it's looking pretty darn fabulous. Haven't done the mudguard yet, haven't done the side of the bonnet, hood, whatever you want to call it. I have done the roof, I've done the B pillar, I have done a bit around the back window, and so on. Haven't done anything on the back here yet. Haven't done that fan. I'll do a bit toolbox, it always comes out well. But yeah, so I'll go around and do the whole thing. I'll put you back on time lapse. Okie dokie. Done that whole side now. The running boards, the tub, the cabin, front guard, bonnet. I haven't done the sun visor yet. As you can see, all nice and shiny. Haven't touched this side yet. Still got a bit of shine on it. So you may be wondering, how often do I do this? Probably about 4 times a year, I reckon. This truck never ever sees a carport, sort of under a bit of a cover at the moment. Never sees a carport. Always out in the weather. So yeah, it cops as much abuse as you can imagine. Gets used. Like, I use this truck a lot. Gets scratches and stuff like that, and I really don't care. But you can see this side here, it's got a bit of a shine. You can see that, and then I haven't done the tailgate yet. Haven't done that at all. So then you can see this side just brings it up nicely. So I've done half the truck apart from the tailgate and the sun visor. I'll keep going, and rather than put you on time lapse, I think I'll just show you the finished product when I'm there. It's looking pretty good, I reckon. Tell me what you think. Do you like this look? Do you prefer the faded look? Do you think people that do this are a bit of a joke? I don't mind. I've got broad shoulders, I can take it. Be interested to know what you think though. Okie dokie. So, if I mentioned that this might take me about an hour, I was wrong. But that was only because I gave it a really good going over. It took me about 2 hours. As you can see, it's sort of getting dark out there now. Personally, I reckon it was worth every minute of it. I think that looks bloody awesome. So let's have a walk around. I did the tray, even did the mirrors, like the mirror frames, just to give it a bit of a clean up. A bit dark out here, so it's a bit hard to see, but I think it looks great myself. A little hitchhiker along for the journey. Look at that, Woody. I think we need to find him a girlfriend. Jessie. Did the whole truck. Even in the dark you can see the shine on it. The toolbox. Like when I did the toolbox, when I do things like this, I did the lips around the inside there as well, because water sits there. And I got into these seams because water might sit in there. I opened the tailgate, did the inside of the tailgate, all the little nooks and crannies inside the fuel filler cap. Inside there, might not have shown you that before. Fuel filler cap. Just a simple little chain and a hook to close that. That's actually a thing to turn off the gas, you know, for your heater or something like that. It's brass. A few touches on this. A little bit of stitching repairs. My jerry can, which I'm embarrassed to say I had to use recently because I ran out of petrol, but it was pretty handy to have it. Just made up that holder for it. think that's pretty cool. It's got its own little built-in funnel. Opens out further than that. It's got a strainer in there so that it takes out any debris. And it's even got some fuel in it now. Next time I run out, I won't get embarrassed. I personally think that looks pretty darn good. Pretty darn good. Okay, so that was Penetrol. That's a paint additive. Not for automotive paints, just for normal house paints. You can add it to stuff and make stuff stick. And this is obviously the inside of the old girl. I haven't mentioned it before. I've got a split bench bucket, vinyl look, distressed look vinyl with suede. The seats are actually heated. I've got to finish building my console. I'm changing it a bit. It's got speakers in the side of it. This has actually got 7 speakers in it, this truck, and you can't see any of them. It's got a subwoofer underneath the seat. It's got tweeters up in the headlining, and it's got some seats, some speakers behind the seats as well. It's got a nice little marine light which really lights it up in there. I believe the steering wheel is off a 64 Chev Nova. Dolphin gauges. Got a nice little under-dash air conditioning unit, which I have spoken about before. It's a Monitor Mark IV. It is fantastic. It is a lifesaver. Got power steering in this, 350 Chev, turbo 400, a 10 bolt GM Holden diff. It's on a Holden Ute chassis. Monaro brakes on the front, discs and calipers, steel PBR, steel calipers, just drums on the back. Something fancy, but it does the job. My good friend Brett Copping from Brett Copping Auto Trimming did my trim. I was still doing it. Got German wool. He made the floor mats to protect the actual carpet as well out of the same thing, and he puts the piping, I think it's called, on the edge. Still got to make a boot for my handbrake, and as I said, clad the center console. I also made a little parcel shelf over here, which Brett, that extra detail is put a removable carpet mat in there. The whole thing is clad in vinyl, wrapped in vinyl as well. And I'm going to make a parcel shelf over this side eventually, so that I can put my drink bottle and stuff there. And of course, I do have the cup holders. Makes it a 3-seater when I do that. And behind here, where some of my speakers are, and this panel behind the seat is all removable, so I've got wiring and stuff under there. It's a little spot that I can keep anything I want, really. My seat belts are hidden down in there, and these compartments here, they're on magnets. They just open up. Got a fire extinguisher in there and a few other doobie whackers. It's all pretty good. It's a very comfortable truck to drive. It's got everything I need and I use it. It is a work truck. And of course the chest on the back there, that's just to carry stuff. Generally, been moving, so I've got a few things in there, but a toolbox in there. It's where I keep my lead substitute, lead additive, because this thing hasn't been built for unleaded fuel yet. Got a compartment there that lifts out in the floor that the toolbox is mounted on. I didn't actually put that there because I wanted it. The boards I got for free, and the boards just happened to be that I needed to do something like that to make it work, so I just made a compartment that's removable, and it's really handy because the boards there was some shorts and some longs, so I made it work like that, and it works well because I can remove that and I can get in there. I haven't actually got a spare wheel in this, never have, but I'm thinking I'm going to put it under that compartment at some stage. Yeah, got the side exit exhaust on either side. Made the running boards. Karen is offended. There's a story behind that. Karen is a person. Karen was offended, and if you know anything, there is a thing about Karens. My late mother bought me this, so it's pretty special to me. We used to own a Shell service station when I was a kid. I've got to put new screws in that because it might fall off. That's pretty special to me. It's a bottle opener, obviously. Yeah, so I'm pretty happy with it. These wipers, incidentally, I had to shorten these somewhere. Where was it? Shorten them here because they were longer. They're actually off a 1972 Mini, so they're cable operated, and the little piece in there that the wiper clips onto, I can't remember what it's called, one's flipped back to front, and what it is, it means the wipers go, one goes like that while the other one goes like that, so you can see they're pointing in opposite directions. They swing in opposite directions. The sun visor, don't know what it's off. It was a swap meet find. I think it was over $5 or $10, and my wife and I just made some brackets out of sheet metal, just welded them onto the window, onto the drip rail, and it's fine. It actually wobbles a little bit. I'd like to brace it up in the middle, but only when you're doing about 100 kilometers an hour or faster, which I do sometimes. And the speed holes in it, that was just a piece of tube on the bottom and a toe ball on the top, and I cut a hole with a hole saw, and then I beat it to flange it. A little bit hard to explain. I'll do a video on that one day because I think it's a pretty cool, simple way of doing speed holes. So yeah, that's it. It's ToXiC, looking nice and shiny. Never really given you much of a rundown of the old girl. That's her. I'll show you under the bonnet at some stage too. And now's as good a time as any. So this is her. So you may have noticed on my cars, and this is a good example, I like patina. I do like shiny paint, but it just causes too much stress. That's not original. Shiny paint causes stress, and quite frankly, I believe that. And Ratrod, what's his name? Diff from Ratrods in Africa. I think that's right. He has a saying as well, life's too short for shiny paint, and hey, I agree. I can build cars faster than I can paint them, so I do that. But having said that, as you can see, ToXiC has a nice interior. I like to be comfortable. I like to wear nice clean clothes if I have to, not that I do that very often, and go for a drive. And my wife can be nice and comfortable, and go for a long drive and be comfortable. And underneath my cars, I like to look nice as well. So the underneath of this is as clean as the engine bay is. So painted the firewall in the matching colour, which is actually a fence colour. It's called something. Can't remember what it's called. It's a colour bond colour, which is used for painting fences. I had it mixed up in 2-pack and painted it, but I've also got some rattle cans of it, so that if I scratch something, I can easily touch it up. 350 Chev, as I said, it's pretty standard. It's got extractors or headers, whatever. An Edelbrock manifold and a 600 square bore Holly. As I said, air conditioning and power steering. It's just got a viscous fan, which was new. You might have seen a video when I replaced that recently. Just a cheap alloy radiator, which does the job, 3-core. I took the openers off the springs, I should say, off the hinges on the bonnet, because this was originally a big truck. It wasn't a pickup. So that being the case, the bonnet actually doesn't open anywhere near that height when you leave the standard springs on. So I just made up this pole just to hold it up there. Actually works completely fine. I just carry that around in the tray, rattles around in the back there. But the reason being was I got sick of belting my head on this. Made the battery tray there. Battery is normally mounted underneath the driver's floor in those. I could have hidden it, but realistically, I don't see any point. So I just made that tray up just out of some angle iron, mounted it to the firewall, braced it really well. Old danger sign that a friend of mine gave me, Steve Miller. It was either Steve or Tony, and I should remember. Really good friends of mine. I can't remember who gave it to me. One of the brothers. I appreciate that. They gave me a few signs. And this little oil can, some friends, Brenton and Tash from Psychometric Customs. I sent them a piece of a 57 bumper bar for a really cool custom that they're making, and in return they painted that up and sent it to me. Now, it was too good to just leave sitting in the workshop, so I just got it on the top of my battery with some double-sided tape. I think it's cool. That was really nice. They didn't have to do that, and I really appreciate it. And hey, it's got ToXiC written on it, so it's where it should go. What else we got? Just little things like you could have washers and overflow. That was stuff that I had lying around there, mounted neatly. And another good friend, Michael from I Do 12 Volt Auto Electrical, did all the wiring for me, and I asked him not to conceal it too much because I wanted to be able to work on it. He didn't conceal it too much, but he concealed it enough that it looks really neat, so well done to him. What more can I say? This is a work in progress. It's always going. I've got these little button head, Allen head bolts that I use throughout it, and I haven't replaced them on the guard on that side yet. Why? Because all my wiring is cable tied to the underside of it, under the guards, because when Michael didn't conceal my wiring by concealing it under there, he cable tied it there, so I just haven't got around to changing it. I'm going to get some more pin striping done on this at some stage as well. Shaco, who I mentioned earlier, who did that, which I love, he's going to be doing a lot more stuff for me. He doesn't know it, but he's going to be doing a lot more stuff for me on this and other things. Probably going to get a little bit more pin striping on the back, and I'm going to get him to paint that air cleaner up. I don't know whether I'm going to leave it black or whether I'll paint it cream or what I'm going to do, but he's got to do some pinstripe work on that, and I've got some ideas for that as well. Never finished underneath the bonnet here. It's still in epoxy, and one day I'll pull it off. I'll paint it up again. It was quite rusty. I'll paint it up. I'll do it in the cream and finish that off as well. I may one day replace this pole with some hydraulic rams on the side. I may not too. So yeah, as you look around this truck, there's just a few little personal touches on it that are mine. I like it. I will one day lower the back a little bit, and I will one day change the wheels, and I may one day make the wheel openings smaller on the front, just as a personal taste sort of a thing. But other than that, I'm going to continue to do what I do, and that is drive it, use it, enjoy it, and have lots and lots of conversations with people that love to talk to me about it. And you know what? That's just fine. Thank you for watching. I hope this has been somewhat interesting, and I'm not sure what the next video will be or when it'll be, but I'll try and make some content to put up there to allow you to watch. So again, thanks for watching. I'm Todd. This is ToXiC Garage Customs, and you're fantastic. See you later. So what do you reckon, hey? Worth doing? Give it a go. What can you lose? And as I said in the video, if you decide you don't want that look, leave it out in the weather for a while. It'll go back to just how it started. But what can it hurt? I reckon she looks pretty good. See you on the next one. Thanks for watching. I'm Todd.